Hello, Miss Lisa here with the Lost Coin. Here we all are staying safe and sheltering at home, so we've all ended up shipwrecked on this island together. And I've been thinking that a map would have really come in handy. It would have been very helpful. And why a map? Well, a map helps to show us and to guide us, and if we're shipwrecked, it would have certainly been nice to have known where the sea was deep, where it's dangerous, where it's shallow. It shows where there are safe places also, safe ports in that storm. It acts as a guide for us. At Shipwreck Vacation Bible School, we'll have a guide too, and it is the Bible. And this is my Bible from when I was a little girl, so it's quite well used. Now, each day we're going to learn something important from the Bible, something that's going to help guide us through life. It's going to be our map. I am so excited to share with you our first Bible story, and it's called The Lost Coin. Today we are discovering that even when we are shipwrecked and we feel lonely and we feel lost, Jesus is here to rescue us. What does it mean to be lonely? Take a few minutes if you need to. Pause the video, talk with your mom, with your dad, with your brother, with your sister, with your grandmother, your aunt, your uncle, a friend who's there with you, and talk about what it means to be lonely. When I think of being lonely, I think of being lost and being all alone. And sometimes I feel that there's no one else around to help me or to rescue me. Well, today's story is about something that is lost, it's alone, and it needs to be rescued. Our story today comes from the book of Luke, chapter 15, where Jesus is once again telling us an amazing story of God's love. It all started when the Pharisees, who were the church leaders at that time, they were very upset with Jesus because he was hanging out with tax collectors and some other people that they thought were sinners and were not worthy at all to be around him. However, Jesus knew that God's love is for every single person, even the very worst sinner. So he decided to tell the people a parable to help them to understand. Parable, that's a pretty big word. So do you know what a parable is? Parable. A parable is a very simple story about something on earth that we can relate to that teaches us about heavenly things, an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. Now, the events in the parable didn't really happen, but Jesus used the stories to teach some very important lessons. Now, a lot of the other stories in the Bible actually did happen to real people like you and to me. But when Jesus tells a parable, a simple story about heavenly things, remember, he's using a story to teach us something. It's one of the things that made him a great teacher. He told great stories, wonderful maps to help us understand where we need to go here on this earth and what we need to do. In today's parable, Jesus told a story about a woman who had lost something that was very valuable to her. What is valuable to you? Lots of people, lots of things. For this woman, he told a story about her, and she had 10 silver coins. During the time that Jesus lived and when this woman lived, this was worth 1 day's wage. She would work all day long to receive 1 silver coin. 2 days of work. So she had 10 days worth of work and money. She lost one of her coins. She started counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One was gone. She lost one of the coins, so she started crying. She had 10 coins and she lost one thing that was very valuable. Now pretend that you have 10 coins and you've lost one of them. What would you do? Would you say, I don't need that coin? But it's valuable to you for whatever reason. It's valuable to you. Some of you probably said, well, gosh, I'd look for it until I found it. I'd get somebody to help me find it. I'd turn on a bunch of lights. I'd sweep for it. I would look under things. I would throw pillows aside. I would search and search and search until I found that coin. Now, a few of you might have said, well, what kind of coin is it? How big a coin is it? If it's a quarter, I might look for it a little harder. If it's a penny, maybe not so much. So, if you're only going to look for a quarter and not for a penny, what is it about that penny that you think it's not as valuable? So we'll leave that little penny down there and come back and talk about him in just a minute. But now I want to keep going about the story. The woman that lost the coin, Jesus said, wouldn't she look and light a lamp, sweep the floors, and search the entire house and not stop until she found it? That's exactly what she did. She would look for that coin, just like we would look for something that we consider very valuable to us, no matter how little or how small. She turned on every light in the house. She swept the floor. She searched until she found the one lost coin. And when she found that lost coin, she didn't keep it to herself. She called every one of her friends and her neighbors, and she said, oh my gosh, I have found my lost coin. Please come, rejoice with me. I have found my lost coin. It is so upsetting when we lose something that's important to us, but it's very exciting to find it again. Now, I know that some of you earlier said, well, if it's one of these little bitty copper pennies, it's really not worth spending too much time looking for it. It's just a penny, 1 cent, not much value. And sometimes when I'm lonely and I'm feeling lost and I'm all alone, I sometimes feel like this penny. I feel like I'm not very valuable. And I can get very distressed and worry about that, thinking I am not worth enough for somebody to care about me at all. But you know, from this parable that Jesus tells us about the woman and her 10 coins, 1 single coin, even a single penny, it is so valuable to him. He loves us so much that he will search until he finds us. And then he will rejoice. And we can know that Jesus loves us even more than a coin. He loves us more than a penny. Because remember, even when you're alone, even when you're lost, even when you feel like no one notices you, Jesus sees you. You really matter to him. He is always with you to love you and to be your friend. The woman rejoiced and celebrated when she found the coin. It was special to her, like you are special to Jesus. So let's do some rejoicing for that lost coin. On the count of 3, clap and cheer and make some noise. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo!